welcome to another episode of the Laid Back Life podcast, where we talk about how to love life, entrepreneurship, and improve daily. Joining me today, my good friend. I'm gonna use the F word, but no, wait, that didn't sound right. Right, no, friend. Kendra Niiro. So Kendra runs Brand Spark Studio, and Kendra does the most amazing job helping attorneys present themselves across social media. Like you don't know that it's a Kendra account, but you will find these attorneys and be like, I feel like I know that person, and then like all of them work with Kendra because like that's the whole vibe.
That makes me feel so good. We can just end the podcast right now. Thank
There
you.
we go, and that's it. See you next week for
So
somebody
happy to
else's
be here.
episode. No, and so like I wanted to get Kendra on, one, because I think so much of social media is like intentionally fake, and then people get weirded out when like their real self comes up. But two, like we talk on the show all about putting your life first. And so like Kendra and I have long been talking off the show about how living a better life helps you produce better content, helps you have better stories, helps you engage with people better. Like if you are truly doing nothing and being super boring, you are not social to have social media. And so I'm so excited to have this chat with you today.
Thanks for having me on. I'm so excited to talk to you. We always have really interesting conversations around social media and how it intersects with what you coach other attorneys on. So I'm happy to be here.
So last week we had Jen Gore on talking about living to your highest potential. Super cool conversation. And as a follow-up, she talked about the Steve Harvey 300 project, and I currently have like 112 things on my Steve Harvey 300 project. It's really hard to find 300 things that you want to be, do, or have if you really think about it. So props to anybody who's still working on it. It's a week later. I'm still working on mine, but at least I'm more than a third of the way there.
Is
That
this
being,
something I need to work on?
um,
Never heard
I,
of this.
I don't like, so basically Steve Harvey has this concept. You write down 300 things that you want to be, you want to have, or you want to do. And
Hmm.
ultimately, like, it's so many that it forces you to find, like, me and ChatGPT now have this whole conversation, and it like knows me so much better because I'm like, I don't really like playing golf. Like taking my kid to play golf in all 50 states does not sound like something I want on my Project 300 list. And so like it helped me with some, and I had like 65 things already. So to be fair, like it's
That's pretty
really
good.
hard to figure out what things you want to do. Um,
Love that. I love that. I think like you said, it forces you to explore your future self. And to get to your future self, it's a path, right? So that's cool.
yeah. And I guarantee you every single one of my 112 things would make for great social media because
Exactly. Because part of having a really interesting social media is starting with intention and creating a repeatable way to show up. So whether it's a signature series or how you show up every day or documenting your life in a strategic way, not like showing things you don't want to show, but you have to show up in a strategic way and something that is almost like a signature way you show up because nowadays like people their attention span is so small. So if you're going on a journey to like discover how you want to live your life or how you want to develop yourself as a person or professionally, this is a great way to keep you accountable and to share with your audience because at the end of the day, like who are you want to be somebody who's authentic, who does want to show up in a real way.
that's so interesting. So using a social media strategy as accountability.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. And you don't even have to share that, right? You're just gonna say, I'm gonna put this on my calendar every day, every work weekday, Monday through Friday. I'm going to share my day and I want to go walking every morning. Let's say you want to go walking every morning. You're going to say, here's a picture of my walk and here's my to do for the day. And it can just be an internal thing, but also you can also just show up for your audience. And let's face it, people are nosy. It's not just social media anymore. It's kind of like interest media, like Gary Vaynerchuk is talking about that now
In terms of,
in terms of social media is not about socializing. There's a voyeuristic aspect about it now. People are not engaging with every account they follow. That would be insane, right? They're watching. They're interested. Maybe it's something that they want to aspire to. Maybe it's something that entertains them or makes them feel a certain way. It's like an emotional reaction when they come on to your content or they're checking in on you. It's either like something that it moves them in a certain way. It could also be anger. We see that a lot right now politically, and people are want to feel a
Politically, what is there to be angry about politically?
gee, I don't know. But yeah, so I think instead of overthinking it, you can come up with a strategic way that's repeatable every day, that's easy for you and within your content parameters. Like you don't want to show your children. I don't necessarily show my children maybe once a year, maybe twice a year, because I just don't think it's for me. They're teenagers now, so I mean they would be mortified, right? Like so that's a part of my life that I just let them do their thing and whatever.
So I mean, I share my kid on social. I today it's
No,
well,
that is your thing. That's your thing. And I mean, Benji, like I would share him too more, but my kids are like surly teenagers, so
well, I mean, I'm waiting. My child is a surly teenager about certain things, but
he's
he thinks it's hysterical to be like the thing I posted this morning. It was like 40 degrees, so I'm still in shorts and a t-shirt, and my son is bundled up like an Eskimo.
he's probably
And
looking at you like you're just this guy. You don't change. Weren't you cold? It's chilly here too.
yeah, a little bit. But like so my car is in the garage, and then I dropped him off at school, went to the gym. Like it's not like
True,
I'm not
true, true.
jumping in a lake, but anyway, but like my thing is, because my whole thing is I'm trying to help people live the life they always talked about, and a lot of times that's like spending more time with your kids and getting home for dinner and doing all
Mhm.
these things. So like, look, here's me walking the walk. Here is proof that I am doing what before we started filming, I told Kendra like sometimes I have to be my own client when I'm going through struggles, but like I want to be me. I want to present the way that I'm telling other people to. So
Exactly. And I think that's it more when I say accountability, I think that's more internal, right? We're not going to get it right every single time, but part of your brand is not just who you are, but it's that you do what you say you're going to do. It's that person that it's almost an aspirational person who you want to be, because every day you're not going to give the 100% that you want to, but you want to live a life that you're proud of. You want to show up for your clients and for your community and for your accountability buddies and for your friends and your family. It doesn't mean showing up and showing every aspect of your life, but in social media, you can learn things from others. You can also be a light. I'm more of a positive person, and I'm more of a person who encourages my clients to be that light for their clients and their community, whether it's criminal defense or personal injury or family law or estate planning or employment lawyers, like anything. You are somebody's light in a dark time in their life. You never see a lawyer when everything's going great, unless you're going to get married, right? Like you're going to get married, premarital agreements.
unless the prenup ruins the marriage, so
I'm sure they've seen that too. In that case, maybe it wasn't meant to be. But you can be a light for that for people when they're going through a difficult time in their life. And that's why I love working with attorneys. I always say that they're the helpers in society. So, I've met people that I didn't connect with because they didn't come from a place of light. So, like, I think you have an opportunity. It's not about you. It's about your audience and your community and your clients or your potential clients or just somebody who's interested in that subject. You can be a light in that aspect.
I so agree. I'm curious, you're like how all right, let me back up for a second. So I am of the belief that I agree with you. You don't have to share your entire life, but like, I don't want your business as your personal page, right? Like, there's got to be something. I don't know if you agree with me in that. Like, you have to have some sort of per. I want to say personality, but that's not what I mean. Some sort of personalness to your social media. Or do you agree on
Yes.
that?
Well, it depends. What are your goals? Are you going to show up as an entertainment lawyer, like the lawyer reacts? Um, it depends on your goals and how you want to show up. So there's many attorneys that they have, like I'm thinking of an attorney in Florida. Oh my gosh, what's his name? He's Greek and he's in the law firm with his dad, and he has a big YouTube account. His personal aspect might be showing like him and his dad talking. So there's history there. There's legacy there. He's showing him and his dad are in the law, own the law firm and they work in it together. He sometimes shows, I'm going on anniversary dinner with my wife. Everybody knows his wife. She's been on the podcast before. Things like that. You don't have to show what you look like waking up in the morning. This is everybody, no matter what they say, it's on 100% authentic. It's not, you can't, it's impossible unless you have a video crew documenting your every move, right? Not, you have to choose how vulnerable you're going to be. And that's part of your strategy. You don't have to show everything. You just have to be strategic about what you're going to show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on the curation, the curated
Hmm.
nature of it, but
Hmm.
like I can't imagine like if you show up in a suit with I have a plain background, but I have a cool shirt, right? Like if you showed up in a white shirt and a red tie with a plain background and we're like Florida statute blah 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 outlines blah blah
Boring.
blah blah blah, right? So like
News fest.
so it might be so here it's talking with your dad. Me, I'm like actually sharing my life and I try to be funny. Other people, talk about
You
interests
are
and
funny.
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you jumping in on that one.
You are.
Um, but like I feel like there needs to be some sort of is it an angle? Is it like I don't know. I think you need some sort of your personality to come through in your presentation on your topics.
Yes, absolutely. So that's kind of, you have to have a recognizable kind of approach to what you do. And that's why I'll just walk you through how I do this with my clients in just a overview, right? I get to know them and I want to know what level of how they're going to show up. Like what level are we going level 10? You're going to hire a crew to film, like you're down to talk about whatever you like what are your interests? You like to cook, are renovating your home and you're willing to share that process with somebody. That's amazing. What I would say is, okay, let's do a signature content series and you're going to be prepping your meal twice a week and you're going to share while you're chopping your vegetables. Tell us a story about a client who was injured in a car crash and lost the ability to use one of their limbs and how you help them through this process
As you're chopping
as
part
you're chopping your
like my client
vegetables.
lost their legs, here's part of the carrot getting chopped off as
Ouch.
well, like the combination of
Well, or anything like that. If you're just having a vulnerable moment and you're down to film in your car, you say it was a long day and you could talk about how you spoke with a client and it was very challenging. It's not a personal thing.
wait, please 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 do not do your car recordings while driving, please please please,
I
your PI lawyer
know.
friend, please 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 park your car, move over, you can record in the car not while driving. Oh my God, please don't do that.
If I could tell you how many personal injury attorneys do that.
Yeah, well, I maybe they're looking for business, but like they're going to be the one at fault because exhibit A is
Well,
going to
I think
be
they're
the
doing like hands
video.
free, like their phone's there. They're not looking at the camera while they're driving.
Oh, all right,
Those
that's
are okay.
that's better.
Yeah, those are okay. And I mean, it's like practice what you preach, right? Yes. So I think there's different ways you can show up like that. Like I talk about, oh, my kid, I talk about them. I talk about, oh, I just posted something in my stories. Like I literally took my daughter to the coffee shop. I waited in the car for like, I don't know, 20 minutes. She got the most beautiful avocado toast. And we were like, wow, that's gorgeous. She took a bite out of it and she went, that's the best thing I've eaten all week. I cook for her from scratch every day. Dinner. And
She said what she
so
said.
rude. And then she looked at me and was like, oops. So I share that on my stories. They don't know her name. They don't know what school, but they also know like, hey, you're a mom. You're a normal person. You're dealing with the same crap we are.
And now you're going to feed your daughter avocado toast for the next 30 days just to prove a point.
Now I'm like, I'm going to make you the best dinner you ever had tonight.
30 days of avocado toast.
So yeah, you don't have to show up, like show everything, but there are little ways you have to identify them for yourself. You have to say, like, you've done such an amazing job with your own brand. Like everybody knows the beard and the the Hawaiian shirt,
Thank
okay?
you. We
And
even made a
also
logo.
traveling, all those things. Me, it's like I am a mom, I'm a business owner, I have a team, and I work with lawyers. Like you have to identify how you want to show up and different ways that you can do that in an easy, approachable way. Because if you have this grandiose idea that you're gonna go out with filming at a coffee shop every day and go to a different location and you're not really gonna do it, what's the point? Like show up in a repeatable way that's easy for you to do.
I will say I was at an event yesterday and there was a digital marketer there who brought three tripods with three different phones and just like it was less than 5 minutes. Set them up at the angles. It was like a BNI style event. Set them up, had one on him dead straight, had two angled to show the crowd, and then like they will edit the clips from all the different ones. And it like when I saw the clips, not knowing the setup, I totally thought he had like a full filming team with him,
Hmm.
and instead it's 5 minutes and three tripods.
Yeah, it's super interesting because you can take so much B-roll. There's different ways to do it in different tools, and I'll go through that also later if you're interested. I have some things with me here that I can show because I want people to walk away from this podcast with an idea of you can do this too if you're interested. You don't have to do it. If you don't want to cultivate an audience or meet people where they are on social media, you can pay for ads, you can do a lot of things, but you won't be building a well-rounded brand. You just won't because this is where the attention is. This is where the attention is now. So you can do that. And that's trending right now also showing like B-roll, showing like clips of somebody in an event navigating through it while looking at the crowd. That's trending. So it's smart.
Good to know. I was dumbfounded by how simple he made it versus what it looks like when it's done.
Mhm. Tripod.
Yeah. I
I'll send,
mean,
this one's
so
really, I'll send you the link.
okay. Well, if we can drop the link below for everybody.
If Tony Stark had a law firm, he'd automate all of it and spend a ton of time at happy hours and Topgolf. It amazes me how often when I'm working with firm owners one-on-one, we create a firm that is supported by them doing less, a life that helps them do more, and then tie those things together in a way where they have the success they've always dreamed of. If you're ready to delegate like Batman and lead like Captain America, click the link below and let's talk to see how we can work together to help you achieve the law firm you've always dreamed of.
Yep.
So you had mentioned, I want to back up and this will go to what you just talked about. Like you mentioned that 1 to 10, how involved you're going to be. 10's like the full crew the whole time. So can you give me some of the other, like, I don't need all nine other steps, but like, what's a one, what's a three, what's a seven, maybe?
Sure. I think a one, the bare minimum, if you're not going to waste your time and your money, is creating a way to show up online in one platform in one way that you're going to speak to your personal life. Um, and I do this with clients who are like, okay, I'm just interested in LinkedIn, right? So in that way, when we help create content on LinkedIn, the bare minimum is storytelling. And doing so in a way that you incorporate who you are as a person and your stories and your experiences weaving them weaving them into your posts. So it doesn't look like ChatGPT just spit this out. So it doesn't look like you took an outline of an article and then wrote your own caption, but then it's has no flavor. Like who is this? Who's writing this? Like if you're telling me a story about a contract, a business contract, and you're just giving me like a bullet point and I could just read the article. Like, where's your flavor? I want to know who you are, what position you come from, as far as how this business contract, this interaction. Like, weave some stories from your personal life, from your business life, and mention how your kids, create an analogy, create something interesting in your stories. That's your bare minimum if you're not going to waste your time and your money.
What is a story?
A story is a journey that you're taking somebody, it's like a ride. You're taking somebody on a ride. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end, but there's also, like we say, salsa in it, okay? We have some spices. You're taking us up and down. I'm feeling a little bipolar. And then there's a solution at the end. Or
Okay, so there needs to be like this is not I painted a wall and watched the paint dry.
correct. you're taking them on. Why are you taking me on this journey if it's like the most boring thing I've ever read in my life? I was telling this to my daughter because she's so positive and she doesn't want to feel any negative emotions. She's very intelligent. But she doesn't want to feel. And I told her, in order to get, when you go to a movie or you're reading a book, some of it is sad. It's because real life is not perfect, right? There's a journey. You're going to to make a story interesting. There has to be an event. And sometimes that event is not going to be a positive one. And then at the end, you take them on a journey, how they get to the climax, and then how you get to the positive aspect of what that person learned, the main people in the story, what they learned at the end. And not to say that every caption in social media is going to be an epic story, but it should take people somewhere and they should feel something.
Every single post?
I mean, I don't want, it depends. If I liked recipes, right?
Okay.
So if you're a chef, it's like when you go to a blog and you're like, give me the freaking recipe. Okay.
Okay. I'm glad you came in on that side. I was very concerned.
No, because the whole thing is like a drama. But you know why they do that? It's for SEO purposes. That's why the recipe, they know you're going to jump to the recipe. They only put all that story there because.
You know who doesn't do that? ChatGPT.
What'd you say?
You know, ChatGPT doesn't do that. I'm like,
It's just
I want to make Chipotle salsa, and it gives me the 6 ingredients, and I don't need a whole.
My friend made the most delicious meal. I was like, what is this recipe? She's like, ChatGPT. I was like, oh.
Yeah, my grandmother in the 1700s of Italy smuggled this one avocado seed over through whatever.
Listen, I'm good with a jump to the recipe. Yeah, okay. A lot of these posts, okay, I'm jaded because I'm online a lot. A lot of them feel very contrived to me. And so we try not to do that. Of course, like, are we perfect? No. If you give me the bare minimum and I don't have, like when I have discovery calls, I'm like, give me, what are you willing to put into this? Because if you're not willing to give time to working with our team, working with me, your account manager, and really letting us get to know you and understand how you write, how you think, and your experiences, what's the point? You can just go to ChatGPT to get that information.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to me, the clients I have who we get to an issue and they feel like they need to have an issue with not having an issue with that issue.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that's my point. So like I'll let me tell it in a story, right? You're talking about social media. It amazes me how many people I see on social media that it feels like somebody told them they have to post on social media, so they're doing it. They don't want to do it. They're not going to spend the time and effort. They're like, but I need to check this box. And like, don't check the box.
Don't check the box. Don't do it.
This is a whole marketing, like you wouldn't just run ads and be like, hey Google, here's $50, do whatever you want with it. Like, so don't be like, hey, I'm going to spend 40 hours on social media over the next month. Just, we'll see what happens. Like, there should be a plan. There should be a strategy. It should be something you want to do. You should have an outcome in mind. Like that.
Yes. Every time I talk to somebody, I say, you know, if you're willing to put time and resources in this, or you're willing to pay me and to do this right, you need to block out time in your calendar and coach yourself. Like this one of my favorites, Bill Farias, he's like a robot. The guy's like, I'm doing this. And he, rain or shine, the guy films. He has the same setup. He's Mr. Systems, okay? He's like, rain or shine, setup, film content.
For those of you that don't know, Bill is my Red Sox Bostonian fellow buddy.
Great guy.
And his social media is hysterical. Like it's family law, you know, like there's good stories, there's angles.
Let's get real for a moment. I'm terrible at most things. And so the goal for me as a firm owner, as a coach, and as a human is to stay in my zone of genius as often as possible. I used to think I could do that if I could clone myself. I realize now that that's terrible because instead I want to find people who their zones of genius are my weaknesses, and then together we can create phenomenal companies. To do that, We put together the complete hiring process. We're also incorporating how to use AI and other technology to get better questions during the interviews, to find the right person in a faster, more efficient way. So if this is something that you struggle with, click the link below and purchase our complete hiring process to find amazing people to execute the vision you've always wanted.
Which is interesting. So if you are watching this when it releases, it's Tuesday. This Friday, my newsletter is on team dynamics and effective delegation. So what Kendra's talking about right now is going to require delegation in some manner, right? Like you have to take something off of your plate to have the time to film, or you might delegate somebody else to film for you, or set up your room, or get all those things together through those team dynamics. So I hope you'll check out this week's newsletter. That being said, in terms of not feeling contrived and having better stories, isn't living a better life the easiest way to do that?
I think so. Like, I
See,
think
that's why I had you on. We're good. That's the podcast.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about living a better life. What does that mean to you? I think it's important for you to identify that for yourself because a coach can't tell you that. Jordan can't tell you what your ideal life is. I take Elise Bowie for an example. That woman is an incredible woman outright by herself, okay? But she kind of takes you on a journey, and one of her big things is you have to schedule joy in your life. Like it won't happen. Nobody's going to put on your calendar. Your mommy's not going to come take you by the hand and sit you down in a cozy chair and read a book or take you out to the park and go for a hike. Okay? That's up to you. And she is a really great example of that. She enjoys traveling. She enjoys, her family. She enjoys animals, and she's always reading a new book and learning. She's sitting on her hot tub, enjoying the view. She enjoys life. If you want to be a person that enjoys life, schedule it, plan it. I'm an extrovert, as you can see. That's why when Jordan's in town, I'm like, let's go. Where are we going to eat today? So like go out, do things, meet people, explore. It's also great for networking. I mean, you can't expect somebody hire a social media person and they put a Canva template out and then you're going to get business. It doesn't work that way. Like, who are you? What do you stand for? Like, what can you do for me? And what can I see behind the curtain? Like, what are you giving me here?
Well, and you're talking about this from the positive side, but like barring the fact that you die, a negative experience can be a great like if somebody reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I was at Fire Festival and I want to come on your podcast," I would absolutely have them
You're
on,
gonna
right? Like
die.
so even if you go do things that sound fun and end up being not fun,
Mhm.
there's still better social media in that, right? Like the person who took the picture of the sandwich with the Kraft processed cheese on it and was like, this is what they're feeding us on the island and
Oh my
whatever
gosh,
else.
remember
Like,
that?
right. But like, I remember that story, right? There's
Yep, yep. That
and
was horrible.
and to be clear, like I'm not telling you to go intentionally have dangerous situations or anything like that, but like, if you there was this like taco fest that came through Orlando one year and then afterwards everybody posted about how terrible it was. I was like, all right,
Oh
but like
my
you had
gosh.
it, right? Like that it was a bait and switch. The tacos were this big. They ran out of them in 20 minutes, like whatever. I'm like, all right, but you have a story, right? Like you went
Yeah,
to
that's
this
happening right
thing.
now. That happened recently during F1 here in Austin. The first, I think it was like food truck, like a Mexican restaurant that got their first Michelin star, like ever. It was like historic. They decided to do a pop-up in Dallas. Okay. So this is where all the wannabe food bloggers struck gold. They're like, everybody's excited about going to this pop-up. The chef says, have fun with that pop-up. I'm going to F1. He drove to F1 and hanging out there having a good time while they were dying. They ran out of propane, something broke, people waited for like 4 or 5 hours. And so this like all went viral locally. And what if you were there? What if
Right.
you were there?
And
Everybody's expecting you to take us on a journey because they know at least once a week that you're going to show them where you're eating for dinner and what you had and what you recommend locally. Hey, you're a local business. Why not do that? Tag the business. And that story could have been like amazing.
and if they had delegated better, if they had shared it on social media better, if they had proper contracts in place, procedures, if they, what is there a law that they're, violating? Is this potentially fraud? Like you can take these life situations and hit them from like every legal angle. You're now divorcing this
This is
restaurant.
for
They should have
LinkedIn.
had,
That is for LinkedIn. And Instagram, people now is changing so much, Jordan. We have to talk about this.
yeah.
Okay. Adam Mosseri, the head CEO of Instagram, just talked about testing you managing your algorithm into what interests you. So if you talk about one thing, good luck. Okay. Because there's gonna only be like top 10 lawyers who will win in that situation. Like broaden your content pillars. Like you don't even have to have a story. You like don't go to this pop-up. If you have a reservation, don't go to this pop-up. Tag them, tag your friends you're with. Then more people will see it. Tag the location. It's called reach. Okay. The brand awareness funnel. You want to snatch as many people as you can. And they check out your profile page, then they see what you talk about. I'm like, ooh, I want to know the story about like the whatever criminal defense and falsely accused, and then they're gonna follow you because they know you post once a week about a true crime story that whatever.
Well, sure. And look, ideally, we want more of these things to turn out positively, but like,
Yeah.
no one wants to hang out with Eeyore. So, in terms of you connecting with people and having that reach, like, if you are the PI lawyer who knows the best restaurants in town, like, that's something for people to let the restaurant side, or they come with you. If you're
Yes.
tagging these people, because like you're out there at these events doing things, if my wife and I, all of our events were kid friendly because every lawyer event is like, let's get hammered at a bar, but
Yeah.
most of us have kids. And so, like,
Right.
having that angle that makes sense for you. Like, I want my kid to come to the event, so I don't have to hire a babysitter. So both of us can be there. So he can have, so he can see what networking is like. Like, for a million reasons, you could just build these things or make it part of your brand in a way that you create something helpful, positive, joyful, happiness, life affirming, whatever words you want to use.
Absolutely. And you don't want to be white noise. You want your brand to stand for something. Everybody has a brand. I don't care what you say. Like the go-to person for X because they can accomplish Y for people. And oh, and by the way, you can't miss him. The guy always has a Hawaiian shirt on, and his cute little kid is right next to him all the time, and he loves superheroes.
Did
Like,
I tell you my favorite branding, my brand favorite branding story?
tell me.
Okay, so I'm at CleoCon 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. Have you been to CleoCon before?
No, should I go?
All right, so yeah, of course.
Okay, go.
It's 2,500 lawyers in this gigantic conference room, conference space at the Opryland, Gaylord Opryland Resort in Nashville. It's like the largest Marriott in the world or something like that. 2,400 of those people are wearing black or navy or dark gray in some manner. And so, like, I'm on the phone with people and they're like, hey, I'm in the back. Do you see me? And I'm like, no. And they're like, all right, well, where are you? I'm like, do you see the one person in the Hawaiian shirt? They're like, yes. I'm like, okay, well, you come to me. Or they're like, oh, turn around. I'm like, okay, I'm waving my hand. I'm like, all right, great. Like, it was so awesome to me that
I
like my
love
my
this so
brand
much.
stood out, but is literally a way for. And then people are like, "You're in all the photos." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit," because the photographer was like, "It's the one person who
Has a
is wearing the
personality.
color." Yeah.
I mean, I do
So
love a
that's my
monochromatic
favorite
look and a
branding
black.
story is that I was the like turn left at the diner. Like, hey, look, turn left at the Hawaiian shirt guy. That's how people found each other.
This is amazing. And that's why I love your brand. Like you really did a good job. I think one of the most overlooked things that law firm owners avoid and they don't do that's losing them money's, lost is not creating a brand that's recognizable. Not creating a brand that can kind of nurture itself in different locations and in different platforms. That's not something people recognize. That's just boring. And it's so easy to do. I mean, I say easy, but if you look historically at law firm branding, it's pretty stale. It's pretty stale. So there's an opportunity, just like with legal tech, and there's so much opportunity to you know, I don't know. There's so much opportunity in the legal space to brand yourself in a way that's recognizable and interesting. There
All
is.
right, can we be more specific? Like, what is a brand?
Oh gosh.
I have my answer if you want me to start.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my answer to a brand is what you think of when you think of this product
Yeah, that's
or
a
person or service or whatever.
right. That's a great way to put it. And also I'd like to add how it makes you feel. Like,
That's
is it exciting? Do you feel safe? Um, do you put a smile on your face? Does it put a smile on your face? Does it make you hungry? I was thinking
right.
that's right.
Sure. But
Yeah.
like, so then my favorite, so, and I think the issue is we get stuck in like our go-to frame for this. So like when I think of this law firm, I think skilled or not skilled or experienced or all white guys in front of a bookcase of the same legal statutes. So my favorite branding exercise is if your brand was a hotel, what would it look like? And like I think you know what my hotel would look like, right? Like I know like it's that super fancy Hawaiian hotel. They're giving you a lei when you walk in. There's like really perfect sand. There's a specific scent of like I don't really like
Safely
coconut,
there.
which is the messed up part, but like, you know, that nice like tropical coconut scent. And so like I think about those things and like it's not like, hey, make me a Canva post that smells like coconut but
Yes.
looks like that. But like having that picture, you can like, oh, okay, I get it. And so like it's
Hmm.
easy to fill in, if we're looking for icons, it's so easy to be like, instead of using a bullet point, give me a palm tree or give me a lei flower
Yes.
or give me,
Yes.
instead of using this we're looking for an off yellow background. Let's use sand. Like it just fits on so many different situations.
Exactly. That's an extension of your brand and your brand pillars, right? And there's so many different ways. Like if you're physical space, there's signature scents that I also urge people, before I say what I was going to say, urge you to look beyond just the legal category when you're thinking about your brand and building your brand. Look outside of it. Look at retail. Look at products and look how big businesses brand their company. And also, I encourage you to go a step further and look at your services and your offerings and consider creating like a sub brand for each of those. Now, what do I mean
Mhm.
by that? I want your brand to be identifiable, but look at your services that you offer as a sub brand. That whenever you create a campaign or you create an ad about that one service, it has its own branding to it, its own brand ideals. Like, what's the core messaging? Who are you speaking to? What colors are you using? Do you even have a sub logo for that or icons that you use for that? Those things are important on a website, on a purchase page, when you're taking somebody through a nurturing sequence. Think about all those things on your YouTube channel. Like if you provide estate planning, you provide premarital agreements, let that be like a subcategory of your brand and make it interesting. Take people like they're in your home. So I urge people to do that. Like I was going to say, when you walk into a store, a lot of stores have signature scents because they want you to feel like you're in a cozy home or whatever, and they want it to be recognizable. So,
Well, and the craziest part of right now, the the better you have an idea of any of this, the easier it is for AI or an expert to fill in any of the gaps, right?
or
So
both,
you
for
can look
sure.
at, yeah, so there's a whole breakdown of every major logo based upon color scheme and what those colors represent and grouped together, like eco being green, red
Hmm.
and white for McDonald's are designed to get you through in and out faster. Like that's their whole, the speed element of it. And so like if you may not be able to sit down and say like, "Hey, I want my logo to be these colors because it stands for this." But if you know like, "Hey, I want my law firm to stand for long-term success and we're not fly by night and we're high touch," then it's going to be like, "Oh, this, royal blue color that is in these logos is there for
Exactly.
the same purpose." Like you can fill in the gaps by having some semblance of the foundation of what you're looking for with this brand.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, there's so many different ways of doing it. I'm seeing more and more and more law firms are doing that. There's a law firm in Los Gatos, which if you know in California, they're like, Netflix is there, a lot of big businesses, Silicon Valley, you're catering to people who have, their high asset potential audience, right? So these people are working in tech. You want to attract a luxury audience, and that they created a really high luxury looking brand. And that's the when you walk somebody into your home, you want them to feel a certain way. That's exactly what your website and your branding should be. It should be exactly what you want people to feel, and how it's already known. Like this is not a budget place. So
Sure. Well, and compare that to like Morgan and Morgan. So Morgan and Morgan is the largest
mhm.
plaintiffs firm in, I think they have a billboard that says the universe. I don't know that
Of course
that's
they do. Of
readily
course they
verifiable.
do.
But right, but their clientele is not the super high tech. So being that sort of like goofy approachable while still maintaining a level of, quality of the service. Like you've got the ones with John Morgan AI'd with his chest, with his six pack floating on the beach. Like we got a cool 25 billion, and like that's not gonna fly for your tech. Well, I should say that's not going to be as easy for it to fly with that high level tech group, but like you have a brand that's matching the clientele that also is unique to the owner. Like if you have ever heard from John Morgan, like he is a sort of goofball but serious businessman. Like it is him into this
Yes.
brand. And so it's like interesting to see the through line of these things finding the most success.
And that's the thing, like your team needs whoever's doing your branding, whoever's doing your social media, they need to get to know you. You need to communicate to them how you want to represent yourself, and he's bigger than life on his branding, because they took a few things from his personality and then also merged that with their business goals and their positioning and who their audience is. Like you said, it's basically a positioning strategy of like what kind of problems you solve for the community and who you serving. You're not serving everybody. You're serving everybody. You're serving nobody, because you won't be speaking to anybody with your marketing. So they took
Well,
that and they cross-referenced that with their brand ideals and their messaging, and they created these really cool campaigns and these fun campaigns, and you can do that too.
I don't think anybody who goes to law school ends up working 100 hours a week and being completely miserable. That's why I took a bunch of stuff from my journey, what worked and didn't work, as well as a bunch of things that I've done for my coaching clients, and condensed it down into one book for you. It's called Love Your Law Firm. The second edition is available in the link below.
well, and to maybe pushback's not the right word. Like, so ultimately, like, if you don't have a $350 million a year marketing budget, you need to figure out who you are first. Like, I think
Hmm.
that's the part that so many people miss. Like, who am I? And like,
Hmm.
I'll be we're storytelling, right? Like, Hawaiian shirts were not a day one thing for Jordan. But as soon as I felt comfortable being approachable, I was like, I'm never wearing a suit unless I have to. I'm going to polos. And then like navy blue polos got boring. And I was like, how could I make this more fun? And then like that became the Hawaiian shirt thing. But like I always
How comfortable.
yeah, well, but and I always wanted to be approachable and I always wanted to be comfortable. And like there's a comedian that has a skit about wearing a necktie is like being choked by a small child all day. Like, why do we do that? And I was like, yeah, I totally agree. Like that's, I sat in court for 3 years every single day in a tie, like in 90-degree weather with,
It's
it was
terrible.
yeah. And so I was like, all right, cool. I will do that for the beginning to make sure I get referrals. And then as soon as I know referrals don't actually care if I'm wearing a suit on a Thursday at 2 o'clock in my office, like I'm going to the polo. And then, that became so you can build on these things over time. Like you don't need to have
Correct.
a multi-billion-dollar valued marketing plan rolled out on day one, but it should feel aligned to you so that you're not like every
Yes.
6 months rebranding in some totally drastic different way.
Yes, it's okay to refresh your brand, but it should build on, because we evolve as a person. Your business will evolve, and your ideas and your creativity, like you said, you might feel more comfortable going a certain route. Or let's look at the data. What is bringing in clients? What is bringing in attention? What is attracting your ideal clients and the referral partners to you? What is it? And you can build on that and grow on that. What's not working, drop drop whatever's not working or what you don't feel aligned to anymore and build or refresh your brand in that route. There's a great family law attorney here, and she actually has a law firm in San Antonio as well, an office there. But uh, Hannah Hembry Bell. Her husband, I believe, is a PI attorney as well. But her brand is evolving and growing, and she's putting the effort in. She's, networks, and she meets with a writing group. She likes to write, and she brings you on this journey. She also was divorced, and she's has a blended family, and she's really bringing you on this journey and on social media that also connects with people who are getting divorced too, and say, hey, look at where I'm at now. I wasn't always here. My journey, and then she brings people on a journey, and that's part of her brand, and it's in an interesting way you're connecting with people.
And the better your life is, the more opportunities you have, the more opportunities for stories. And then there's 8 billion people in the world. So, like, no matter how boring you think you are, there's a cross section of people that will vibe with you on something. And that's enough to operate. That's enough to run a
Hmm.
business. That's enough to build this foundation. That's enough to start with. Like, it's
Yep.
crazy to me how like Patton Oswalt has this thing called the I think it's the death of nerd, the death of geek, something like that, where he's like, when I was a kid, the comic books released on Tuesday mornings, and I had two friends who like comic books. We were best friends because we were the only people that like comic books. And now like you can go on some Reddit subthread and argue over like 1950s Spider-Man, 1960s Spider-Man, and just like bloodbath over, Stan Kirby, this. Like it's amazing to me how niche we can get with things.
Exactly. And that's what's so interesting, right? If you're like, I like to take long walks on the beach. I mean, okay, fine. But was the first time you've ever been on a plane when your parent passed away? And then, like, what's the story? Like, walking on a beach, great. But, like, have you used to never take vacations because you were working so much? And now you realize after you had a family member pass away that you're not going to let life pass you by, and you're going to do 30 things in 30 days, like do something interesting. And I think that's part of social media that's positive, because you're like, okay, I'm very comfortable with myself, but I do want to transform this aspect of my life and take people on the journey with you in a very comfortable way, as far as you're not going to share everything about you, because it is contrived. Social media is a bit contrived because I don't want to know a lot of things about everybody I follow. I don't.
See, you say
It's too soon.
contrived. I like curated so much better. Like,
It is curated, but let's keep it real. Like,
yeah, but to me, contrived is fake. So, like,
okay, okay,
the
you're
Jordan
right.
you see on
Let's go
social
with
media
curated.
is not contrived, but like, you're not seeing bathroom Jordan. You're not seeing 2 seconds after losing a giant verdict that we spent $200,000 on the case Jordan. Like, we
Oof.
are curating some of these
Yes,
things
you're right.
away.
That was the wrong word. It's more curated. I just don't want to scare people away from giving it a try, because you get to manage what you show and how you show up. And that's the beautiful part about it. There are no rules. You can make the rules. And you end up really do connecting with people in real life. So give it a try. Come up with an easy way every day, or at least once a week. Just give it a try. Show up on Instagram stories. Go on LinkedIn and talk about a networking event you went. Tag the people who you saw there and you had a great conversation with. It's things like that. People want to know what you're doing. They really want to connect with you. Staying top of mind will grow your network. It'll grow your referrals, and it'll grow your business. And it also will grow your brand. And your brand will make money for you at night while you're asleep.
Sure. Well, and push back if you disagree with me on this. In terms of trying it out, like if you're gonna try out ads, you need 100 plus clicks on Google to have any idea if your ads are going correct. And if you're
Mhm.
paying $200 per click, that's a lot of money, and probably need it over 3 to 4 months to make sure that there isn't some weird thing at certain times. If you're trying out SEO, like you might go 6 months, 9 months without seeing any movement until finally like you start climbing up the ranks. So like trying out social media is, I think, the cheapest. Well, probably lunch is the cheapest one to try, like just in-person networking. I guess that does cost money. So social media is probably the cheapest advertising strategy to try because you can post for free. I think you end up probably putting more time commitment into it than you would paying $20 to take somebody to lunch.
True.
But somewhere in there is it's easier to try that than it is to try most other strategies for marketing.
Absolutely. You can test a lot of things. You can even get more, you can come up with like tests and try campaigns and try, you know, your messaging strategy on social media for sure. Yeah, I do encourage ads as well, right? Like it's kind of like a multi-tiered marketing approach. Definitely do ads on social media where the attention has shifted to social media so much. There's so much opportunity to grow your network and grow your incoming potential clients by advertising on social media for sure. But if your brand doesn't speak to anybody, if you don't know what your brand stands for or how to communicate on those ads, you won't know what to test or what's working. Like try different things.
Well, and I would rather figure that out for social media for free than
True.
$200-300 per clicks, and then also like needing landing pages or call rail or something to track it or Google Analytics, and like I mean I guess you get more analytics on social media, but I just it's fun for me, and I get that social media is not fun for everybody, but
It's so fun for me.
yeah, but like it's a low risk thing.
Yeah, we can open an account today on every platform for free. It's 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 very interesting. I don't know, there's five over 5 billion people on social media, as of this year. It's crazy. It's where the attention is. If you have a business, if you want to grow your business, you want to grow your audience, you want to create a community around it, there's so many opportunities. You don't have to be on every platform. You can be strategic and start with one. Just have clear goals for what you want to do on that platform and have an outline of how you want to show up. It could be a mind map. It could be some just general 3 or 4 ways you want to show up or what your brand stands for, and then see what's working and see what's not, and double down on the things that are working and just drop the things that aren't.
I agree. And the last numbers that I saw had the average person spending almost 8 hours a day on their phone. And like I'm sure that's gamed in some manner, and I don't know if
Yeah, I know from between 13 and 19, which is, as a parent, I know this. It's like 4.5 hours a day. That's pretty light to me, but um
wild.
yeah, and as an adult, people are working on their phones. You're working on your phone. You're fielding calls from clients and family. I mean, it's like a little computer. So people are on their phone all day and at night scrolling.
Totally. All right, so let me talk about our next episode. We'll come back for final takeaways. Next week, we have Valerie Fenchel on. Valerie is the founder of Fenchel Family Law, where they help men and women navigate marriage and divorce towards more vibrant futures. So she's got extensive experience helping families in crisis. And I asked a question on my Facebook group about office culture, and Valerie had such a good answer. Where for her, I have it, and I quote: "Saying yes as much as I can and being supportive, positive, and encouraging as much as I can." And I love the as much as I can. And so she's going to come on next week for us to talk about what that means. Because ultimately, like if you say yes all the time, you have nothing left. And if you never say yes, nobody comes to you with opportunities. And so, like, it's important to find that balance of as much as I can. And I'm super excited to hear how that has impacted her firm and ultimately her life. I hope you will join us next week for that. That being said, for those of you smart enough to want more great insight from Kendra, who's been with us for almost an hour at this point. Time flies when you're having fun. What's the best way for them to get in touch, stay in touch, see this in action?
Definitely I'm on Instagram. I show up there, Brand Spark Studio. I'm on LinkedIn as well, Kendra Niiro. Yeah, and brandsparkstudio.com. And I was so happy to talk to you as always, Jordan.
It's always nice to have you. All right, thank you to everybody who watched and listened. Thank you, Kendra, for being with us. We will see you back here next week for Valerie's episode. In the meantime, please, please, please make that one post, get out there and ultimately live a better life to allow you to have better stories to tell on social. So let's all have fun.